I'm going to be frank, I have no idea what's going on. A few days ago, the US gave a 48-hour ultimatum to bomb the power grid of Iran if they didn't open the Strait of Hormuz. Then suddenly after they added 5 days to that, and then now apparently they're in ceasefire talks with a 15-point ceasefire agreement with Iranian officials who themselves say that they aren't in talks with the US because they'd never be willing to cooperate with the United States. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure why the US is doing this. At this point, my guess is as good as Iran's parliament speaker that said Trump is manipulating financial markets. What Iran said about not cooperating in a ceasefire makes sense at least though, because even if the US is willing to stop firing, Israel isn't and has already vowed to kill all of Iran's leaders. This comes after over 1,000 people have died in Lebanon due to Israeli airstrikes against the Iran-backed Hezbollah. Iran especially has very little reason to trust the US, especially when they've struck Iran during diplomatic talks twice before, just like the strikes that started this conflict to begin with. I distinctly remember Abbas Araghchi, an Iranian official, meeting with the US for diplomatic talks just a few days before the conflict began, with airstrikes from the United States. At this point, one of them has to be lying, because you cannot be in ceasefire talks and not be in ceasefire talks at the same time. And at this point, I'm a bit more inclined to believe that Iran isn't willing to negotiate with the United States, especially considering how little trust there is between the two of them. So what do you think? Is it the US lying or is it Iran?